Hello everyone. This could be a long video because I'm going to try that TriLockAthon challenge where you pick a lock blindfolded, gut the lock blindfolded, reassemble the lock blindfolded, and have it functioning afterwards. Yeah. So I'm not afraid of trying things, and I've done the sightless sensory challenge where you pick them and gut them. But I made such a mistake on gutting the last time that there was no way I was going to be able to reassemble it. Steel Penny says this is not a requirement of the challenge. It's just like a bonus thing to reassemble it. But it got me to thinking, how could I do it? And I came up with the idea, and Pickaholic kind of keyed me in on this when he mentioned grub screws. So I took a standard pin lock, standard 5-pin kick cylinder, I grub screwed it. This will help me on gutting, because then all I'm going to have to do is find the pins and pull them out. But it should be amusing anyway, if nothing else. So let me take my glasses off. I'm already blind as a bat. And I put my blindfold on. So I don't know if you can see that, but I'm also even more blind. And now, I've got to find my ingredients. There's my lock. Those are the keys. We won't need those right now. And I'll need this later. There's my penny mat. Alright. I haven't practiced on this. All I did was just make the challenge lock up. And it's like 2 o'clock in the morning, so nobody should be bothering me or phone call or knock on the door or anything like that. And it's just me and this lock right now. I hope you can see everything. I have no idea the lights could be off and I wouldn't know it. It's just a standard 5-pin lock. The only practice I've done was trying to pick this thing. And with the camera off, it opens up real easily. Of course, I can't even see the camera or the lock, so. You set? I had somebody set. Sure. Make sure I got the pick oriented properly. Yep. Hooky side up. Let's get back in here. The picking shouldn't be the hard part. There we go. I've got to turn on the core. I don't know if you could see that. But we have a turn on the core. So I picked the lock open. So now to gut it, this is all I got to do. Sneaky, but you get bonus points for thinking outside the box, I think. Alright, so this is pin 1. I come up here. I should go up to the stack. Unscrew pin 1. Now, keeping everything together is going to be the trick. Alright, where's my pinning mat? Over here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this is where you need your sense of feel. That's where the spring should go. I'm going to put him up there with him, as long as everybody stays pretty close together. Alright. And everything should just fall out. First should come the spring. Here we go, the spring. We'll put him over here somewhere. This is going to be interesting. The important part is getting these key pins figured out right, because the drivers are all the same. I can mix those up. I believe I got a driver in my hand. It feels flat on both sides. Like I said, this is going to be the long part. The gutting is not going to be real long. Alright, key pin. So you want pointy side down, flat side up. And the main thing is finding this mat Not knocking everything over when you do it. And putting him somewhere over there. That's close. Alright, pin 1. We are having fun now. This helps also, the stack, because you can feel where you're at. Oh, trying to take it apart with a tension wrench doesn't help. Ooh, I got shit mixed up. Uh-oh, there we go. Yeah, we take our eyesight for granted. I mean, I always say I'm blind as a bat, but it helps to at least have, to be able to see light and dark and shadows and everything else. So, as bad as we think we've got it, being blindfolded, this is something sightless Sentry's got to deal with every day. From the day he was born, so I'll put this, I'm just trying to make sure I get 1 and 2 correct. Like I said, the springs, the drivers, and the everything else can be mixed up, but the key pins are the important ones. So I've got a spring in my hand, which, like I said, we don't care. Springs, I'll just find springs. And oh, I don't know if that guy's a driver or a key pin. It's going to be interesting. Right, he must have been a driver, because the key pin would be the last one to come out. And I think that's the pointy side. So even with this advantage of having the grub screws and everything, it's still, man, there's slot 1, but I don't feel anybody in there. There should be a key pin in there. This is where you get really messed up on your orientation. Right, 2 down, 3 to go. And then we got to put it back together. Good luck on that. That'll be the humorous part, trying to put it back together. Grub screw, as long as you go on the mat somewhere. Spring, same story. Oh, and when I was making this lock, uh-oh, somebody fell down. I heard it. Sense of sound. Uh-oh. Yes, we already have one problem. There's the key pin. I got him. He's the most important part. Alright, so we were at 1. Nobody was there. 2. Uh-oh, there should have been a key pin. Yeah, I feel him. 1, 2, 3. Underneath my finger is slot 3. I'll put the key pin under there. All of a sudden it got even darker under my blindfold. I don't know why. Well, I don't need that. What am I looking for? Looking for my Allen wrench. Yeah, that's why you want to have. That's why I didn't even try it on my workbench over there in the bedroom. My God, I've got so many projects and so many things going on that this also helps you figure out where you're at in the stack, where the front's at, just with these. So I hope this helps other people, you know, if people are thinking about not doing it because it would be too difficult, give it a try. I mean, a 61-year-old guy can do it, or at least try to do it. You young whippersnappers should be able to show us old guys up. Uh-oh. Now I don't have even a spring wanting to come out. Uh-oh. You don't like to hear that. Somebody came out. He feels like a driver. Just gonna make sure. God, this video feels like it's taking forever. Yeah, I think this guy's a driver. We'll just throw him in there anywhere. And I don't know where that spring went. Ooh. This guy, man, This may be my key pin. Alright, let me find my mat again. Hope I didn't move my mat around. Alright. 1, 2, 3. There should be 4. You know, a lock can go together with key pins in the, or driver pins in a key pin position if they happen to be the right height. But if you get that mixed up, which I don't know where that spring went. I don't feel him. Well, I can't see him, but I don't feel him. I don't feel him with my eyes, which are my hands right now. Alright, so that's going to be interesting. Looks like we're missing a spring already. But we're on pin 5, so we're almost there as far as the gutting. And the reassembly, like I said, man, I hope you're ready for a late night movie because it's going to be. Maybe I'll get an A for effort. There's a spring. That's going to come in handy later on. And I think I just got the driver and not the key pin. So I'm going to set him up here in this, somewhere up here in the upper right. No. I'm trying to turn the cylinder around. I hope that he'll release the key pin if he's in there. Oh, he fell down, but I don't know where. There he is. No, I heard it. Damn, I hope it didn't fall down in the same slot as that other one. Oh, I was doing so well, too, until that part happened. So, reassembly would be the reverse of this. Ooh, and you got a problem of turning the lock around. You don't know if you're going to load it up 180 or not. So, you got to find out where the narrow part of the thing is. And this thing will free spin until you put at least one pin in there. So, let's try to reverse our steps. This guy should be the key pin. This should be slot 1. I should get pointy side down. I'm going to attempt this. Alright, I think it fell in. I'm going to find a driver for him. This feels like a driver. I got to put him in also. In slot 1. He went in. I'll find a spring. Any spring will do. That's not a spring. That's not a spring. Where are the springs? And I'm probably butchering my orientation up here. Where are my springs? I can't even find a single spring. Oh, somebody felt springy. And don't be springing around on the table either. We're having enough problems here. No. No joy. Man. Oh, I got a spring. A spring. You know what? As long as we can get it back together and the key works, it don't matter how many pins are in there, right? Oh, I dropped that spring. Caught him with my palm. We can make him a 1-pin lock. 'Cause, man, it feels like I've been doing this for a couple of days now. It's probably only about 15 minutes, but it feels longer. Get in there! We need at least 1 pin operational. See, you keep going into slot 2. I can just feel you. Oh, I'm trying to go in the back of the lock, and here's the front. Or is it? No, that's the back of the lock. This is the front. Meanwhile, 6 decades later, I think I've got him started. He shouldn't be sticking out that much, though. These when they're done properly, these things were sitting in there and the spring was just barely sticking above the chamber. I got a spring fighting me. So, anyways, I did part of the TriLockAthon challenge, but I don't think I'm going to be able to get this thing back together because I can only find... And he just shot off. He just launched as I was trying to push him in there. So, yeah. Hey, I put the lock back together, and the key works. Let's see if the key works without any pins in there. Well, there is one pin hiding in there. He's just enough to jam everything up. I probably got this guy 180, don't I? Yes. No wonder. That's why things weren't working. I had it 180. Well, let me see if I can find the driver. I want to try to get at least one chamber fucking working. Ew, he said a bad word. Fucking is not a bad word. You wouldn't be here if it wasn't for fucking. Alright. Trying to put a grub screw in. And I thought I had a driver. That's another grub screw. Well, you know, even a key pin would work. Well, we get somebody in that chamber to act as a driver. But it's a grub screw again. Man, I can find grub screws. Alright. You feel smooth on the side. And you're probably a key pin, but we don't care. I'm going to put you in there anyway. There we go. Now if I can find the spring. They've launched everywhere. Who's that? That's a spring. I can tell that's a spring. Will you cooperate, spring? That's why it was sticking up so high, I think. Yeah. Now, I had a billion grub screws out here. There's one. We gotta get this one oriented properly also. Get away from me. I only want the Allen wrench. Sometimes when I'm working on a lock and I'm having a hard time with it, like a challenge lock, I will close my eyes just to help me pick it. So, I've picked blind before. Like I said, my eyesight's pretty crappy. Right. So, in theory, it's locked. You insert a key. If I can get the key in there properly. Ooh, things just shot out. Did you feel that? I didn't have that thing tightened down. But, yeah. So, I hope you found this amusing. I'm going to take my eyeballs off and see how badly I butchered this. Wow, there's a spring over here that doesn't belong over here. There's a spring over here. Wow, this is a driver. He's way the hell over here. Let's see how well I managed to get 2 and 3, and 1 is in there. Look at that, he's way over here, number 5. So, yeah, putting it back together, if somebody gets that, man, they should just win the contest. If they disassemble a lock and they put it back in, they should just win. Because it's tough. But there you go. My little idea had a little bit of success with it. Oh, look, another spring. But things are all over the place, and I don't know how he does it. Don't know how Silent Sensu puts one back together. There you go. Thank you for watching, and give it a try. You can't do any worse than I did.